Hello, hello, and welcome to the Gothic jungle. Today, I would like to take you guys on a tour of Musee D'Orsay, which is a very famous museum in France. It is absolutely beautiful. It's located very near the Louvre. It's about like it's like on a diagonal from the Louvre, and it used to be, I believe, a train station, which is why you see this big clock in the middle. And this area with a lot of lovely statues also looks much more like a train station. But I don't know when it was renovated, but it was renovated a very long time ago, and it hosts some very, very famous artworks. So I thought I would bring you guys along today, show you all of the pieces that I thought were very beautiful, but more particularly, there were a lot of impressionist nature-inspired paintings that I thought were very beautiful, and I was very excited to share. But most famously at this museum, there is a lot of Van Gogh artwork, which is so cool. A little bit about me: I took art history in college, and I really like to paint sometimes. I don't do it as much as I should. Impressionist art is one of my favorite art movements, so being able to go to this museum and see a lot of paintings, a lot of impressionist work, Van Gogh, Monet, Edgar Degas, I don't know who else was there, but a lot of very, very famous paintings. So I thought that might be also fun to share with you. I was especially excited to see this version of Starry Night in person. It was absolutely insane. As you can imagine, a lot of people were very excited to see it. And I didn't see the original Starry Night, but I went here twice, once by myself and another time with my family since I was studying abroad in France for a little while. But it wasn't there the first time, but it was there the second, and it was just absolutely beautiful. And I'm so excited that I got to see it and see like the details and the brushstrokes in person. I feel like that's such an exciting part of going to museums. Like, yeah, you could see the picture online, but you get to actually see all the texture and the detail when you go to museums. I also thought that the portraits there were very interesting. I really liked the colors used in these two portraits of these women. I thought like the very rich colors contrasted each other well, and I thought it was very beautiful, so I wanted to include that. So starting off with actually getting to the point of this video and looking for actual nature inspired paintings, I really loved this landscape of the French countryside. You could see the little Eiffel Tower in the back. I thought that was very adorable. And of course the little sheep. A little bit different, not quite plant related, but I also thought these Monet ocean paintings were also very beautiful. There's a lot of Monet art here, as you could imagine. But I just think it's all so beautiful, so of course I had to show it off. Again, the closer up version of the painting that I showed you before, you can really kind of see the brushstrokes if you look closely. Now moving on to more actual plant and garden related paintings. Of course, again, moving with the theme of Monet, and this is not Monet, but this is someone else very famous. I thought it would be nice to start with him as a bit of a transition. Of course, like the lily pads and the variants of his garden. I believe this one is the famous version of the garden painting. Not entirely sure, but it's just so, so beautiful. I hope to one day go back to France, and I believe you can visit Monet's garden in Giverny. Hope I'm saying that right. But it's truly, truly beautiful. I think I've seen videos on the internet as well of people visiting it, and you can tell just why he painted it so much in so many iterations. Oh, and then you have the sisters. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, these two paintings were separated for a very long time, but then they were finally reunited. But they just look so lovely in the field. Then lots of potted flowers as well. Much more contrast in these paintings. Can't quite remember the name of the artist. I'm sure you'll be able to see it poke through on the screen, but very beautiful. Oh, this painting is extremely famous as well. I have no idea who the artist is. I know I said I took art history. I don't remember any of the famous artists other than the standard ones. Still very, very beautiful. Oh, and the one on the right here, I know fits into our theme of gardens and plants and stuff, but the one on the left was incredibly impressive with the usage of pastels and the depth, even though they're all still sort of that pale, bright color. I just thought that was so interesting that it kind of reminded me of a sunset. Now, this wouldn't be a Gothic jungle video if I didn't have a bit of a Gothic influence. So there was a section in the museum that focused more on the architecture. Of course, it was still paintings and ink art of the various like cathedrals and churches, etc., architectural feats in France. A lot of the Notre Dame or Notre Dame. Very beautiful, but I thought the Gothic architecture would be particularly interesting to view. And I think I have a gargoyle painting in here somewhere that'll show up eventually. But they're very beautiful, black and white, very minimalist, not as colorful as the ones that I have just shown, but nonetheless still very interesting and a lovely usage of perspective and depth and all of that fun stuff. Oh, I thought the lighting in these was particularly interesting because it like gives it a little bit of an ominous feel. But I just thought it was so interesting because, I feel like I don't think of lighting anything that way. So that's another interesting thing about art. I really like seeing the different ways of that people light their paintings. I know my personal favorite artist is John Singer Sargent. There's a lot of paintings by him in the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, which I think I have a video on a little bit that I made a while ago. But he's my favorite artist because I love the way that he paints people, and I feel like the softness of his light is really interesting. And of course, I had to save my absolute favorite for last, which I'm sure everyone will enjoy. These are paintings by Harriet Backer, who I did not know before coming to this exhibit, but as you can see, I believe she, or whoever she was painting the room of, is a plant collector. I was so excited when I came across these paintings. I was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely perfect, and it's honestly the reason why I made this video. I just had to put it in there. It was absolutely beautiful. I actually bought a book about her works in like the gift shop afterward because it was just so beautiful, and I really loved the cozy vibe of this library as well that she painted, with the books stacked to the ceiling, and then of course all of the planty elements in there, the monstera by the window, or actually that might not be a monstera, I can't tell, but then again, as I mentioned before, I really like impressionist style, so I feel like I really like her loose brush strokes in these works as well. But it was just so exciting to find this artist because it was just absolutely beautiful, everything that she made. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed looking at all of these art pieces today with me. If you ever get the chance to go to France, go to Musee D'Orsay. Maybe you'll see these in person for yourself and get a little bit more appreciation for art. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. That is it for today's video, and I will see you guys soon. Video's over now. Bye!